Joseph, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can
Okay,
you hear me?
you're live on the air. Go ahead.
Okay. Well, first I want to let you know I've been praying for your father, Rabbi. And my question this morning is, it's kind of twofold, but they're basically the same question. It's about the idea of the priesthood being an intermediary between the people and Hashem, and if that's the case, then I mean, don't we require that intermediary? And then is the Mashiach supposed to be an intermediary as well? Kind of like when it talks about him in Ezekiel, when it says he'll offer the sacrifice for his sins and the sins of the people. So isn't he also acting as an intermediary, like a priest as well?
So I just want to ask you a question. I want to ask you, show you how to think. So Abraham was a righteous man. God loved Avram Avinu. Yeah? Abraham lived hundreds of years before Aaron, right? There were no priests. So did Abraham have an intermediary? Did Isaac, his son, who was also a very holy person, who was Isaac's intermediary? Who was Jacob's intermediary, right? Who were they? It's so silly. It is true that there were certain tribes who had assigned tasks to teach and to bring karbonos, to bring offerings in the Beis HaMikdash, because that was their job. But the intermediary of Christianity is one of complete avodah zarah, and it is based on the idolatrous concept that is pervasive in the ancient world, in the non-monotheistic world, in the pagan world. The great God that created the world, Zeus, he was so great, he was busy running the planets. He couldn't talk to you. He's not interested in you. People didn't go, my wife is not conceiving. My cow is not giving milk. I'm going to pray to Jupiter. They think you're crazy. Jupiter is running the universe. You understand? So in avodah zarah, in all the idolatries that existed, there is an idea, you have it in Hinduism. I know I'm going to get all the Hindus angry at me. You have a great God, but you have intermediary gods, Hanuman, the monkey gods, and all. They're intermediaries because you can't approach the great, great God. That's all avodah zarah. Follow? So that's what Christianity is. Christianity is saying that you cannot be saved without going through Jesus. That's completely preposterous. That somebody or someone, an angel, can act as a shliach, as a messenger on behalf of God. So that, of course, we have in the Torah. But that person, that individual as an angel, a person affects your salvation. Who was the mediator, intermediary for Avraham Avinu? HaKadosh Baruch Hu says that Abraham was faithful and righteous. Why? Torah says openly, because he kept all of my commandments. He kept all of my laws as I commanded him. Who was his intermediary? He didn't have one. In fact, in a chapter that's, I don't know why people don't at least know the first 6 chapters of Daniel well. And for those of you who don't be offended, but you don't have an excuse, because the first 6 chapters, that means the first half of Daniel, is written like the book of Genesis. It's really easy to read. I mean, it's not. For 7 through 12 is a little difficult. It is. But 1 through 6 is very easy. It doesn't mean you won't have a question. Just like the book of Genesis, you'll read it, you have questions. But you still understand, basically, you understand what's going on, right? In in Daniel chapter 4, Nebuchadnezzar was in tremendous trouble. And he has a dream. He has a dream of a great tree that feeds a whole forest of animals. Everything in the tree is destroyed, and he's told he's going to be destroyed. That's his dream of a great tree that gives life to everything is destroyed, and all life is destroyed, is a picture of Nebuchadnezzar. And Daniel tells him, there's a way out of this, Mr. Nebuchadnezzar. You can you can undo this. What should you do? He didn't say get a mediator. He said no. He says give charity, feed the hungry, take care of the weak. This is Daniel chapter 4, verse 24 in a Hebrew Bible, or 27 in a Christian Bible. So why no mediator? Christianity is all idolatry. When I say idolatry, I'm not trying to say something that's unflattering or uncharitable about Christianity. Christianity, in its essence, this comes across so well in a pastoral epistle where Paul says there is one God, there's one mediator between God and men, and that's the man, Jesus Christ. When he says that, he means that that's the only way to salvation, just as in John 14, I'm the way, the truth, and the life. No one can come to the Father but by me. That's the mediator. That's complete avodah zarah. That's complete nonsense, complete idolatry. Just a little point here. For the vast majority of Jewish history, there was no temple or tabernacle. I don't mean to scare anybody, but for the majority of human history, there was no temple, there was no Beis HaMikdash, there was no tabernacle. How long did the tabernacle in Shiloh stand? 369 years. First temple, 410. Second temple, 420. That's it. So the essence of avodah zarah is to say that man cannot reach God. God is so great that man can't reach him. In Michelangelo's painting, there's a picture of God and man. Look carefully at that image, and you'll notice that God's finger is pointed out. But look at man's finger trying to touch God. Man's finger is curved out, which means man can't make it. That's theological. What is being conveyed is a Christology, that man could do nothing to reach the Father. But Tanakh says, Hashem says, I love you. Kindlech, return to me and I'll return to you. I love you. Call out to me. I'll forgive you. I want to be close to you. We have a mitzvah in the Torah to have dveikus with HaKadosh Baruch Hu, to be close and to be intimate with HaKadosh Baruch Hu. It's just pinklech the opposite. So all idolatry, hatzad hashava shebehem, what they all have in common is that God is inaccessible and man cannot have a relationship with God because he can't. He's too broken and too frail and too sinful and too dirty and too filthy. And everything in the Torah is that you can. That's all. That man can have a relationship with HaKadosh Baruch Hu, creating the image of God. It doesn't mean that there weren't certain tribes that were assigned certain tasks. For instance, the Bnei Aharon, which I am one, a priest, so they were able to bring karbanos and so on and so forth. The children of Yehuda and really of Shlomo Melech, they're able to be a king. I can't be a king. Why? Because I'm not a descendant of Dov and Shlomo. Doesn't mean they're intermediary. I'm an intermediary. That's all silly stuff. That whole idea of an intermediary is predicated that man cannot reach God. And if you want to know why man can't reach God, needs an intermediary, that's Romans chapter 5. And that's because of the original sin. See verse 12. That's all. That's all Christianity do is explain why man cannot on his own merit have a relationship with God. Because you have to explain why do you need Christianity for? Why can't man do tshuva? Anyways, thank you so much for your thoughtful question. If you enjoyed this program, please like and subscribe.
אדון עולם אשר מלך בטרם כל יציר נברא לעת נעשה בחפצו כל אזי מלך שמו נקרא ואחרי ככלות הכל לבדו ימלוך נורא